Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Hey, rockers. Today we are pleased to have a returning guest to Radio Bypass, one of the busiest guys in rock and roll music, Mr. Brian Wheat. How you doing, Brian?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good, man. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by Radio Bypass. And I'm excited to talk to you about your latest creation, Violet Breed.
All right.
So you got to tell us. So Violet Breed, we've played both singles on the show that you've released. Awake and 10 Years Sober. 10 Years Sober just played recently. Awake was always back. And I knew you had this band coming because Frank was here last year on the show and he mentioned that you had this band, Violet Breed. But didn't know anything about it until I started seeing the stuff coming out for Awake. And caught my ear for many reasons. I mean, that first introduction to the band was a great song to start with, to begin with. But then as I read up a little bit on Violet Breed, I thought it was kind of interesting that you've been working with this young man, Alex, for about 10 years now, I guess, been kind of a mentor and so, how did he,
So what happened
did you see in him and how did he come to your attention?
When I first met Alex, he was in a band called Flash Fires. They were kind of like an alt rock band from England. And I got asked to produce their record, right? And they came over from England and I took them in the studio for 5 weeks. And I got involved with that band, kind of like as a co-manager, producer, and I was trying to do everything I could to break them in England, where they were from, but kind of fickle, it's not like America. And I always thought, well, if I could get that band to America and kind of groom them a little bit more for American rock radio, I think they'd do well. Well, that never happened. The band kind of dissolved. But me and Alex had always connected. And, he's just one of those special old souls. And, to me, he's more than just a guy I write songs with today. He's like my adopted child, if you will. So a couple of years go by and then we get hit with COVID. And we were meant to start working then on what was going to be his album. Basically an Alex, he was leaving, Flash Fires was done. He was going to do his own thing. So with COVID, we weren't allowed to get together. So finally, when they released all the restrictions or whatever it was that was on us all at that dark time in our history, he came to New York and we started working on a set of songs, which were going to be Alex songs. And I was producing and I was managing him and mentoring him. And the plan was he was going to come to America and I was going to put him in a van and he was going to march up and down the Midwest and the Northeast, building a following. Well, it wound up that he was having a lot of trouble with the visas, right? So when we spoke to the visa people, they said, well, it'd be easier if you and him had a band together and he was an established act because no one really knew of him in America.
Right.
I said to him, what do you think about, I know we're going to start working on, I'd already written some songs with me and Dave Rude together in Texas a few years prior to that, before COVID. If we just make this a band of me and you, and see what we can do, kind of, because we work together on every level anyways. I mean, we write the songs together, I produce them, I manage them, so he said, yeah, I don't care. He wasn't, I thought he would be like, oh, I don't want to be in a band with some old dude Tesla,
Right.
I love you, Brian, but he's like, yeah, and why not? So at that point, it was not an Alex solo record anymore. It was going to be a band.
Hmm.
And we started working on these songs. And I brought Dave Root in to play guitar and this guy named Derek Deason to play the drums. And we recorded 8 songs. Out of those 8 songs, 2 of them were Awake and 10 Years Sober. So me and Alex decided we're going to do this together. And we said, well, we got to have a name for this thing. So we both like violet, the color,
Hmm.
kind of purple. We said, oh, well, what about violet? We had violet this, violet that, that. And I think I said breed. I said, we're breeding songs. Me and you are breeding, and the result is these songs. So we went, yeah, cool. Violet breed, hence the name.
Nice.
So we recorded those first 8 songs, and we decided, okay, the first song we'll put out is Awake. It was a pretty obvious choice to us. In between the time Awake came out, which was like, what, 16 weeks ago?
Yeah, I was
Something
gonna say, yeah, it's been a
like
few
We've
months.
written and recorded 25 more new songs.
Wow.
So now we have close to 35 songs recorded in various states.
Hmm.
And the plan is to put out a single every 8 to 12 weeks and build this thing up to where it can one day become an entity that can go out and tour, right? When I'm not busy doing Tesla and Alex, he has his Alex gigs in England, you know, we'll get together and we'll go out and we'll play as Violet Breed and we'll continue to put out this music because we're just having a good time doing it. Honestly, I was on the internet today working with them because I can control the Pro Tools rig at his house in England from wherever I am. So he sets up the mic I told him to use. I produce and write and everything, just like me and you are doing right now, except I'm
Right.
controlling his Pro Tools and computer. So I don't, there was always limitations if you were in the room together. Well,
Hmm.
now technology has made it to where you don't have to be in the room together and you can do really cohesive work together. So that's really it in a nutshell. So we're putting out songs and obviously if we would have put out Awake and people would have said, we hate this sucks, we would have said, well, people aren't really digging what we're doing together. But once we saw that the response was so positive, so okay, well, obviously 10 Years Sober was always scheduled to be the second song.
Hmm.
Now I'm at a point where there are songs in the first batch of 8 I thought were going to be the third, but there's songs in this new batch of 25 which kicked those songs' ass.
Right.
So, I don't know what the next single's going to be, but in terms of I guess to answer your question of a full length album or EP, I don't see the point in doing it right now because people's attention span is very short today. And in the old days when you bought albums and stuff, people collected them and listened to them. Now everyone's playing this singles game and the attention span is like not very long, maybe 3 weeks. Then they're on to the next thing. Well, my thing is that me and him are working at such a fast pace and being so prolific and enjoying it. If I've got a song to put out every 8 weeks for the next 3 years, that's what I'll do. And at
Right.
that point, maybe sometime this year, we'll say, okay, listen, we've put out 4 or 5 songs. We'll go into the Midwest of America, where there still is a lot of original music being played, or in the Northeast. Those are 2 hot spots, right?
Right.
And book maybe 10 or 12 shows and develop a following for a band. So people say, well, does that mean you're leaving Tesla? No, I'm not leaving Tesla. Why would I? Started the fucking band in the garage with me and Frank. I'm not
Right.
leaving Tesla. I'm not stupid. That's my baby. But Tesla doesn't work as much as it used to, right? And we're getting older and I have a lot of free time. And I enjoy spending my free time doing things I enjoy doing. And I enjoy doing Violet Breed with Alex. So I essentially will be in 2 bands. Okay. I do have another band called Soul Motor. but the singer has had some health problems, which has stopped him from being able to play or really do anything. I have some songs that I'm going to release in the future for Soul Motor, but I don't want to release them right now if I can't go out and play. So I'm
Right.
just finding the right time, and I'm waiting to see if Darren actually, can get healthier or whatever the problem is that he's having, with his voice. He's having some problems, and he's like Alex. I love working with Darren and this band Soul Motor. Different kind of a band, more of a harder edge, darker kind
Hmm.
of thing, Soul Motor, right? Where, Violet Breed is more of a contemporary pop rock sounding thing. And then on that, I also told somebody that me and Chris Holmes from Wasp and Tommy Skeoch from Tesla are talking about putting together a band or a project as well that we've been talking. So I
Wow.
like to stay busy, you know,
But,
but
but
Tesla
even
is
though,
always my number one priority. And I want everyone to know that. But when I'm not doing that, I have plenty of time to delve into other things. And I love doing it. I love the creative process.
Mhm.
Right? I love making records, and I love working in a different situation. In Tesla, there's like me, Frank, Jeff, and there was Tommy. So it was four guys, right? And we all had to get in a room, and that's great, and that worked great, and I love it. The work we've done there has been amazing. But there's a little bit of a liberty when I work with Alex or I worked with Darren, where it was just me and one other guy. It didn't have to go through four people.
right.
That can take a lot more time, and the process is a lot longer because you've got two other people. You got to try to get four people on the same page versus
Sure.
two. So
Right.
bringing us to Tesla, we just put out a new single. It's all about love. And that was great. Frank wrote the song with Jeff. I co-produced it, I engineered it, I mixed it, I recorded it all in New York, and that was a very enjoyable process. And
And that
that,
song is so good. And I love
yeah,
the package.
that song is a classic Tesla song,
Yeah, it is.
right? Um, I was telling somebody the other day in the car, they're like, "Will Tesla do another full-length record?" I don't think so. And the reason I say no is it takes so much time. And Tesla works a certain way. Tesla works by us all being in the room together. Well, we're scattered all over the world, for one. We
Right.
do 60 to 75 shows a year. There's that. We've been doing it for 40 years. There's that. It's hard to find the time to get together and say, okay, we need to dedicate, like Shock, right? The last record we did, Shock, that took a year of our lives.
Right.
We were doing it on the road, and we also had Phil Collin kind of spearheading it and keeping it organized. We have a hard time keeping organized within ourselves.
Gotcha.
I mean, because it's a different thing. It's four equal guys or whatever, right? It's different than one and one.
Right.
So I don't want to spend a year of Tesla's life at with a band that's on their 40th year when Tesla could be out playing to people. There's times when Jeff maybe can't, like when Jeff can't sing to the level he does now, there won't be Tesla. Like
Right.
I'm not up for getting, an Arnell character or, somebody else to sing with Tesla. Jeff's voice is Tesla.
Right.
Further, I'm not diminishing Frank. I'm not diminishing myself or Troy or Tommy or Dave, but that voice is the sound of Tesla,
Hmm.
right? Not, even though some people might disagree. I mean, listen, I'm the most, they could have another bass player tomorrow. It wouldn't fucking matter.
Right.
Okay. You can't have another singer.
Mhm.
Not that singer. Okay. It's not at that point, not 40 years down the line, you don't bring in somebody else because he can't sing. I think when he can't sing anymore, we owe it to ourselves and to the fans to call it a day.
Mhm.
Right? And then at that point, you can go into the studio, and if you want to make a record like the Beatles did, where you can do things and still make a record that sounds great. But we pride ourselves in Tesla being able to play very well live. When people come, you guys sound better than your records. That we wear that like
Mhm.
that's a proud badge.
Sure.
But we can't do that. There's no point in doing it, right?
Right.
So that's part of the reason why Tesla won't make a brand new record. I mean, we're older, people have families, there's lots of things. And we made what, 14 albums, you know? And
Right.
so with that, you'll see, maybe two or three singles a year.
Mhm.
And we can do that. That's doable for us, you
Right.
know? So, me and Jeff were just together last week. He was here in Florida, and we were working on a couple of things that are going to be for the next Tesla project to come out. And I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to give it away. So I'm not going to say what it is or whatever. But there's some more new Tesla stuff coming out this year, plus Tesla tour dates. So Tesla is still doing, everything Tesla's always done. Just
Right.
not making whole brand new
Do you
records.
know what would be cool as a huge fan of the band? Won't be your 40th anniversary as a band, but it will be in 2026, 40th anniversary since the first release.
Yes,
So it would
there's
be cool
something
to
on
see one
paper.
more record at least in 2026.
Well, I don't know. I mean, listen, there's also talk of a 40th anniversary tour with
Mhm.
that album. And I can't really say what that is, but it would be a big tour that we'd be a part of,
Right. That would be
right?
cool too.
That just think there's some other bands that have 40th anniversaries of their big, huge records same time. So, there's talk maybe of something like that with a particular band both celebrating a 40-year anniversary together. And there's
Mhm.
a few bands you
I was
can
to say it's going to narrow it down pretty good. That clue right there.
well, but that's we're just talking a little bit about it. That's all.
Right. Right.
These things on paper always look good, and then when you try to put all the moving parts together, 9 out of 10 times they fall through.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that's true.
So, will we do something special on the 40th anniversary of Mechanical Resonance? Yes. Don't know what. There
Right.
will be something. To do another album, full length album. Again, you're asking me, it's 2025. You're asking me to spend all 2026 making a record.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the band can't afford to be off the road for a year. You know,
Right.
I know people think, oh, you're in a rock band, you sold millions of records, you must be filthy rich. Not the case.
Right.
Tesla earns their living by going out and playing.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know,
really your only source of revenue these days. I mean,
right?
the
Yeah.
streaming that
Trust
everybody's
me.
excited about doesn't
Streaming,
help
we're
a
getting
musician.
fucked. You ain't getting paid for that shit.
No,
You ain't
and
getting.
by the way, I bought a wake, so make sure you get your 0.0000001 cent.
If you bought it, then I'll get what the standard mechanical is on it. If you stream it, I get nothing.
Yeah, it's
But that's okay.
ridiculous.
Listen, I didn't do it to make money. I did it because I enjoyed it. I thought it was
Right.
valid to put it out and say, look, this is something new. This is something else I'm doing. This is Alex. I think he's a great singer. Check it out. I hope you dig it. And that's why I put it out and we put it out.
Well,
Anything above and beyond that is gravy. You know what I mean? But
right.
um, I mean, obviously the payoff is when you go and play live. So I do want to try and take it out and play live, but there's got to be a demand for it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That
I
is the
mean, I'm
problem.
not that much of an egomaniac where I just want to go put on shows because I think people want to see me. Actually, I don't enjoy being looked at by people. It freaks me out. It always has, which is why I used to drink a lot and take drugs at the height of Tesla because
Keep your nerves in check.
well, yeah, it just freaked me out. But some people they want to go out just because they need the clapping and stuff.
Right.
I want to, listen, I have realistic expectations. I would love to take Violet Breed out and do 300 and 400 seaters.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And if I can do that, then build it up to 1,000 seaters.
Well, you've been
And
seeing great response to both singles, right?
yeah, absolutely. The response has been fantastic.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
that doesn't sound unrealistic at all.
no, well, I try to stay in reality.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It
I
should
try. I try to stay
be a goal that's pretty easy to
in the
achieve.
real now. I try to stay in this dimension.
Well, Violet Breed, what I thought when I heard it, and I like this, sometimes when musicians, I'm sure you can think of some too, when they do another project or another band, it really is pretty much the same flavor as their main band. This I really appreciate because it's not. It's not
Well,
Tesla at
listen,
all.
and when you if and when you heard Soul Motor and hear
That
that,
wasn't either. Yeah, that was
no,
totally
that's
different
the
too.
one thing, I'm proud of that. When
Hmm.
I didn't work in Tesla those 5 years and I was with Soul Motor, it sounded nothing like Tesla. We didn't play Tesla
Correct.
songs. I wouldn't let you advertise I was in Tesla. I wouldn't let the record company put the records next to the Tesla band. All those things they wanted to do. I said, no. Tesla is Tesla. And Tesla is and was unique in itself. If I'm going to do something else, I want it to be different and unique, just like Tesla was.
Sure.
So yeah, no, yeah, that's on purpose. And if I write a song and I think it's a Tesla song, I'll say to Alex, hey, this is for Tesla.
Hmm.
But that hasn't happened as of yet. And
Right.
Tesla, doesn't really like to use outside writers. So if, like, say I wrote a great song with Alex, I don't think they would want to do it. Not because they love Alex and stuff. They just, it's just the way we've always worked in Tesla. We've never really had an outside writer like Diane Warren or somebody like that write songs for us. It was
Right.
always, I mean, obviously we had a huge hit with Signs, but that wasn't intentional or on purpose.
Right.
The record company tried to make us do something like that on Bust a Nut by recording Games People Play by Joe South because we wouldn't have done that. They
Right.
said, we don't hear a hit. We want you to do this. We think it's another Signs. Well, people smelt that bullshit right away, and it did not pan out. It's the only song I don't like that Tessa did.
Yeah.
Not, I love Joe South's version of it.
Hmm.
I love the song, but we didn't pick it. We didn't choose it. We picked Signs, right?
Right.
We picked I Love You. We picked The Ocean. All
Right.
the great covers that we ever did, we picked them. Ronnie Montrose brought us Little Susie, but we took that song and we completely took what was there and redid it,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So Games People Play was a direct attempt from the corporate record company to be greedy and try to cash in on another covers hit because they said that Bust a Nut didn't have any hits on it. So,
Right.
fair enough. And it didn't. But, I still think it's a great record we made and still real proud of it and have some great moments. Mama's Fool's a great song. Try So Hard's a great song. Shine Away is a great song. You know, th-
Agree.
there are some really good songs on there, but the climate was changing. Listen, I don't want
Right.
to get too much into it, the alternative thing, whatever. It
Yeah.
only
We
sold
know what
800.
happened.
It only sold 800,000 copies, and they were ready to drop us. They said we were failing because the
Right.
other, the
Because
other
you didn't
four,
hit the millions. Yeah.
right? Because the first four were multi-platinum.
Right.
So okay, we were done. But you know what? I don't care. We're still standing 40 years later,
Yep. And
playing all those songs and people buying tickets by the thousands.
mhm.
So, you know, they fuck them. They were wrong in their infinite wisdom as they do. I mean,
Well, Tesla, I always get irritated. I'm a fierce defender of your band because I love it so much because you guys write from the heart. You do, just like your motto says, you keep it real all the time. You always have. And I get irritated sometimes because I feel like Tesla deserves more accolades than you've been given, in my opinion. Number one. And number two, this hair metal term has always bugged me because obviously I was a DJ on the radio when all that music was
Yeah,
happening.
listen, and I let that bother
It,
me for many
it
years.
always bugs me because
And
who cares about that?
well, I
And
mean, yes,
don't put Tesla in that category. You guys have always just been down to earth,
yeah,
do it
it's
your way,
because
guys.
it's because they say it in a condescending, derogatory way.
Exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
like, well, wait a minute. The fucking Black Crows came out at the same time we did. 1 year later, they had long hair. They were on the cover of fucking all kinds of magazines.
Magazines.
You never called them a hair band. There's
Right.
not really much difference between Tesla and the Black Crows.
Right.
It's just the perception that the media tried to spin on it, right? And I love the Black Crows.
I
I
do
mean,
too. Yeah.
obviously, I'm not taking a swipe at the Black Crows. I'm
Right.
just saying, they want to call us a hair band in a condescending way. And
Exactly.
well, Metallica
Which
had,
somehow depreciates the level of
well,
playing and songwriting, in my opinion.
they
I
try
feel
to,
like it's
right. And Tesla were more like really Bad Company and Leonard Skinner. Tesla were more like a 70s band.
exactly Aerosmith. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, really, we're kind of like a Bad Company when you look at our body of work and Bad Companies and the bluesy singer and this, that, and the other. I mean, we weren't wearing makeup and shit and doing all that shit. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm
Right.
not knocking that.
Yeah. No.
That's great. But the people that write the interviews or put the stuff in the magazines or whatever, they try to be like condescending and they try
Right.
to diminish it and almost make fun of us. And
Yeah.
that's what pisses me off.
I'm right
Because,
there with you.
we're serious about what we do and we take pride in keeping it real, like your t-shirt says.
Right.
And they try to make it like, it was some kind of joke. And to that I say, fuck you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it
Well, I
doesn't
do
bother
too.
me. It doesn't bother me anymore as much as it used to. It
Right.
used to really bother me, dude. I used to get really pissed off.
I
Now I just
bet.
go, listen, call us whatever the fuck you want, as long as you call us.
Right.
Right? Call it what you want. It's all music to me.
I was
Right?
just gonna say, I guess it goes along with that song.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah, before you go, so violetbreed.com, guys, to check out Brian's work with
Or on Instagram or Facebook, Violet Breed.
Yep.
And
Two
YouTube,
videos are out there on
two
YouTube as
videos,
well.
yeah, the videos are doing quite well. They're on YouTube. We're working secondary radio right now. It's doing very well there.
Excellent.
On Active Rock there. So just go check it out. Give it a listen. Listen, you don't like it? Turn it off. If you like it, support it,
Yeah,
Click a like, click a subscribe, whatever you do, right?
I think you'll
Whatever
like it.
you do in this, but if you don't like it, you don't have to write something nasty. Just don't fucking listen. You don't have to write, fuck that fat motherfucker. I hate him. He's a fucking, like all the shit I see on the fucking, you don't have to do that. What's the fucking point? Just say, hey, man,
Not my thing.
not my thing. Hey, cool, whatever, There's so much negativity in the world. I wish it would just stop, Just
Which is a perfect segue to circle back to
It's all about
love, baby.
Exactly. There you go. All you need is love. Right on, brother.
And then we're going to add at the end of this, stick around,
Yeah.
everybody. I'm going to play the two singles. I'm going to add them in here, even though I've played them on the show. So in case you guys missed them, we'll check, and we'll do them in order. First, you're going to hear Awake.
If you want,
then you'll
play
hear
the
Fading
videos
Sober.
as well, Dave
Yeah.
Root, both of them, for all you Tesla fans out there. Dave Root's in both videos.
That's
There
true.
you go. He's good
And,
looking. At least, him and Alex are good looking.
And Tesla's back out with their next live date, February 28th in Sault Ste. Marie. And then one last thing, and I'll let you go, Brian. You guys are doing the Monsters of Rock cruise again. Start on
Yes,
March
sir.
10th is your date. But also your Wentworth Gallery, some of your artwork is going to be on display.
My art will be there. Here, I'll show you. I'm working on some paintings right now. Here's one of them. This is one of them of strawberry.
I saw that on their website.
Yeah, that's Strawberry Fields. So what I do is I take the photo and I put it on here, and then I paint on them.
That is so
Well,
cool.
so the photos I take, right? And I treat the photos in my, Photoshop. Then I print them, put them on canvas, and then I paint on them.
Right.
And that's my art. That's my, today. I mean, it's all art, whether it's songs or paintings, or I like to do design, if I've been working on remodeling a house or whatever. To me, everything's with passion is art.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody stick around. Here comes some Violet Breed. Brian Wheat, thank you for coming by Radio Bypass. I'll see you in Reno next month.
See you, buddy. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
I'm hanging by a thread with a will to survive. No time to show the mercy, no time for alibis. I can see the world more clearly, I'm not blinded by the lies. It's time for me to fly, I'm awake, I'm alive. And all this time, I guess it's true, I sing it out, I reach for you. I will stay awake when the sky is falling, standing on my feet and I won't be crawling. I feel better now, I'm awake. I'm standing in my glory, now I'm on the other side. Tested to be perfect, I keep it all in stride. Ain't nobody gonna stop me, I'm not guilty of a crime. I keep on moving forward, I was born to survive. And all this time, I guess it's true, I sing it out, I reach for you. I will stay awake when the sky is falling, standing on my feet and I won't be crawling. I feel better now, I'm awake. We will be around until the morning. Everything's okay, we keep on going. I feel better now, I'm awake. Well, I'm awake. Blood stains dripping from my cold veins, tripping on the lies we're getting again. Blood stains dripping from my cold veins, tripping on the sights we're seeing again. Awake when the sky is falling, standing on my feet and I won't be crawling. I feel better now, I'm awake. We will be around until the morning. Everything's okay, we keep on going. I feel better now, I'm awake. I feel better now, I'm awake. I feel better now, I'm awake. Nothing you could do, nothing you could say, baby. Nothing's gonna change your mind.